Also, like, nobody is awake right now. It's like so early. So good morning. Your daily digest of gaming news from the Nemesis Network. I'm also going to the doctor because I think this cough I have is a bacterial infection. I'm fine, but the mornings are getting hard now because I'm like coughing a lot. So I think I just need an antibiotic and I'll be good. So thanks for your comments and concerns. Nobody's commenting or concerned, but I am gonna go see a doctor tomorrow. Oh, before my gig, which is wild, but here we are. I have no idea what this show is either. Like, I have no idea what's happening in this show. Like, I saw that it was a showcase and I was like, okay, we'll stream it because it's coming on before the other important show. The other one after this has 8 world premieres. So this is like the pre-show. The real show starts at 2, which is in an hour. And I assume this is gonna go for an hour, and it has games in it, but I'm unsure of like what. I really have no idea. Oh, they're doing a giveaway, wow. Oh my god, yeah, we're in the trenches. I was rewatching like old, like to get the clips for that like little montage I made on Twitter of like how many days ago all the gaming shows were. Girl, some of those old showcases, I was so cringe. I was listening to the Nintendo one from 500 days ago. Oh my god, I was like, girl, shut up. Like, I was talking in like a high-pitched tone. I was like, hey guys, welcome to the Nemesis Network, and today we're gonna do the Gamescom. I was like, oh my god, like, shut up. Like, thank you guys for supporting me, but damn, I was annoying as fuck. I mean, probably not, but like, also like, if you're not embarrassed by your old self, are you really learning and growing and changing? All right, let's see some good shit. Wait, this is everything we saw yesterday? Okay. Oh, they're on the stage.
Welcome to Into the Infinite. My name is Glitter Explosion, and I'll be your host tonight.
Okay, Glitter Explosion.
Level Infinite. On behalf of Level Infinite, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today to check out our lineup of games.
Now, before we dive into all the amazing game news we have to show, Anthony, can you share some details with us on Level Infinite and what we can expect?
Of course, Glitter. Level Infinite is still relatively new.
Next year when it's Nemesis Network and Glitter Explosion.
Let's
get it rolling.
A worldwide community that fosters inclusivity, connection, and accessibility. At the same time, we work to provide developers with a wide range of services, resources to help them unlock the potential of their games and excite gamers everywhere. Since we're still getting started, you may not be as familiar with Level Infinite as you are with our games. In the last year, we've helped to bring you games like Warhammer 40K Darktide, Metal Hellsinger, Tower of Fantasy,
oh wow,
and of course PUBG Mobile.
They made Tower of Fantasy?
Right. For the next 40 minutes, we've got games for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile platforms. We've got action, racing, sci-fi, fantasy, assassins, sandworms, special forces, and much more.
So whoever you are, however you game, whatever you
like
to play, Level Infinite has something that will delight and entertain you. Come along with us and jump into the infinite.
Okay.
Within this ancient kingdom lies power, capable of changing the course of history. But chaos threatens the wall that preserves our peace. The legacy of our ancestors teaches us to honor the truth. Bound by blood, I walk the path in the shadows as a guardian, protecting this kingdom. With each strike, I defend the innocent, bring corruption to light, and deliver justice for my people. This is my purpose, my creed.
I have never played an Assassin's Creed game in my life. Everyone's real excited for this, huh? This Assassin's Creed moment. Wait, is that the new one?
Our first
Oh, it's a
title tonight
mobile
made its
game.
debut during the Ubisoft Forward Conference in June this year. Travel with us to the 3rd century BC, exploring the vibrant world and culture of ancient China.
Get her, Jade.
Experience a true Assassin's Creed adventure for free, anywhere and at any time.
Do you think Jade
on
from
your
Mortal
mobile
Kombat
device.
is in this game and that's why
We're
she's
pleased
not
to
in the
announce
new
that
Mortal
the final
Kombat?
name of the game is Assassin's Creed Jade.
Let her out!
Make sure to sign up for the upcoming beta now and don't miss out on any news. And make sure to stay with us to get the chance to win an Alienware laptop. Keep an eye out for the QR code. You'll need to scan it to enter the giveaway.
Girl, just give it
Good
to
luck.
me. Can you imagine I win on stream? That would be streamer luck. If you think about it, giveaways are kind of like gotchas in real life. Really, let that sit. I think this is another mobile game. Whoever this girl is, she's stunty, cunty, funty, funty. That one Miley Cyrus song that's unreleased, she goes, yes, I'm funty, yes, funty, or whatever. You know the song I'm talking about? It's real, I swear. Well, sorta kinda. Oh, it's a Steam game. I mean, it doesn't look terrible for an FPS game.
I'm
hi.
Brock Young, Creative Director for Synced. Very excited to be back here at Gamescom. Since 2019, when I was here the last time, we have been working on Synced and are now thrilled to finally get it into your hand.
Oh, you've been working on this game for 4 years? Oh.
Synced is set in the near future following a technological collapse. Billions of people have died, and the world has been overrun by nanite-driven creatures called nanos. The game's action takes place.
Girl, I
inside
could
a
play this.
suit
I
of
could make
infinity
this
zone
in
known
Minecraft. You
as
just
the
build
Blade.
like 3 or 4
In
blocks,
Sync,
spawn some
you will
zombies.
take on the role of runners,
And
adventurers.
this man
who
and
did
his
it all
team
in the
took
Meridian.
4 years to make
From
this.
healers to invisible fighter, from ranger to explosive expert.
Okay, I'm shitting on it, but it actually doesn't look too bad.
Skills and playstyle options
Out of all the
choice
FPS
is
shooters
in
we've
your
seen over the
hands.
last 3 years,
But you're more
this
than
one
a
actually
runner
looks
with fancy
kind of
jobs.
interesting.
In Synced,
And that's probably
you can
because it's
tame
third person,
exactly
because I like
nanos
third person
and
games
transfer
more,
them
but
into your fighting companion. Each
I thought he
one
just called me-
offers
I thought he
unique
just said
tactical
farting.
options and combat advantages suiting your playstyle and loadout. But your companion is more than just a hired gun. You can deploy them into the wild, attract enemies, lock on your target, and make some real noise. When the companion nano is recalled and docked, the runner will gain additional buffs. And make sure to check out the nano leap. Combine your runner and nano with those of your teammates to fully own the Meridian. This is so much more I wanted to share with you today, but let's remember this. Synced is a unique experience you haven't tried before and a memorable journey with seasons to come. Now, wishlist us on Steam and Epic Store and be among the first to play. September 8th, mark that date. I look forward to seeing you in the Meridian.
I think I'm busy that day.
Coming up next, a studio that is always searching for the beautiful and the crazy at the same time takes a new journey into the world of League of Legends with a story-driven adventure game about the unbreakable bond between two best friends.
Oh, it's the Nunu and Willump game! Ah! This is exciting!
It's Brom!
Oh, hey, Brom. Oh, you can do that to me if you need to. I am a practice dummy.
I'm Nunu, and this is my best friend, Willump.
This is so cute!
What brings you out here? The Freljord is wild here. Not safe for children.
We're looking for the heart of the blue. Maybe you know where it is? My mom told me it was at a winged mountain.
Brom knows nothing of this. Heart of the Blue. But a winged mountain, you say? Come, follow me.
Oh my god! Look how cute it looks! We have to stream this on release day. This looks amazing! Oh my god, that's so exciting. It's coming out
Hey
soon!
everyone, I'm Rowan, creative director of Riot Forge at Riot Games.
I guarantee you it's
We
coming
hope
out in
you're as excited as we
October.
are about our newest upcoming title, Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story. For years, our players have been asking for ways to dive deeper into the stories and world of their favorite League of Legends champions. When thinking about how we could achieve this, we decided to partner with incredible independent studios from around the world to bring Runeterra to life. With these developers' expertise, we work together to create single-player games that tell compelling stories about these characters and allow players to take them.
I don't want to drag this person, but the eye sockets, do you have eyeshadow there or do you have really deep eye sockets?
We couldn't think of a cooler part.
Because like if you're not wearing makeup and that's just your natural eye socket, that's fierce AF. Like you would have to, you could skip like an hour of doing your makeup by cutting your crease. Like damn, that crease is fierce. I'm jealous.
And for the confidence to dig into these mighty characters and unfold their humanity by doing what we love most, moving and intimate narrative experiences. That's why we can wait for all of you to head into the unforgiving Freljord and join Nunu and Willump in their journey to find the magic in the world, one snowball at a time. Thank you.
Thanks, Benny. Welcome in. That looks so good. I'm really excited for that game. Okay, Mario Kart Duel. Hi, Oscar. This looks like, you remember back in the day, those things you'd buy at the store and they were like beans and you could play with them online. They were like music things. It was like an early 90s thing. I mean, late 90s.
To crown the winner. Expect crazy and amazing seasonal content, new experiences, modes, rewards, and loads more. Make sure to join when the game races into early access on November 2nd. Even more exciting news, if you can't wait to get your hands on it, the game is live for its second playtest on Steam literally as we speak.
Okay.
Make sure to join the Gamescom racing action here on the show floor or from home.
Okay, the way I could literally do this boots.
By heading to the Stampede Racing Royale Steam page. So, start your engines, help us test Stampede Racing Royale, and get an early glimpse of how the game is shaping up.
Should we start a petition, see how many signatures we can get Nemesis Network at a live show? You think a company would pick it up? Oh, Delta?
Delta Force was one of the first shooters I played, and it's big. The American world just got me. We want to bring that back to FPS games.
Oh, this gameplay looks very revolutionary.
With die-hard Delta Force fans who grow up playing the original title on PC. That's why we are so excited to bring you a new next-generation tactical shooter game.
Next generation is generous, sir.
Mission completed.
This looks booger
Delta
boots.
Force operators. Delta Force Hawk Ops has a variety of unique operators that you can choose to play. Each playable operator will feature their own signature weapon, combat gear, and even some exclusive items.
They shot the tank 3 times and it blew up.
Who can activate
Hello?
overload mode and charge straight into enemy territories with guns blazing.
We recreated the original Delta Force game
Oh, he's
experience
cute.
with the most
Hi.
advanced engine combined with
William.
our own graphic technology and use of photogrammetry tech for both our characters and the world. Our team took a thrilling expedition to see Northwest Africa, seeing its natural beauty while learning about the local ecology.
Are you guys
and
watching
culture.
Drag Race France or Drag Race Philippines?
We've enlisted former Navy SEALs as
They're really
trusted
good seasons,
advisors
honestly,
to
that
make
aren't
sure
main
our
series Drag
operators
Race.
stay with fusion of swag while maintaining the authenticity we know Delta Force fans demand.
Delta Force Hawk Ops will have you hooked whether you are playing on your PC, console, or mobile devices. We've teamed up with key technology partners like NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel.
Yeah, I'm really
to deliver
shocked
some
at how much I'm
truly
liking the
remarkable
casts.
visual effects.
Because
Prepare
usually
to be
some of
blown
the
away
other
by
seasons
NVIDIA's
that are like out of
groundbreaking innovation.
the US, I'm not really loving the casts. But
we are dedicated to
I really love the
players
Drag Race
all
Philippines
around the
cast, and I
world
really
with
like
fun,
the top
smooth,
4 of Drag
easily
Race France.
accessible gameplay experience. And we're also ramping up the quality of the enemy AI. Be ready for some brutal foes.
Delta Force Hawk Ops is not just another shooter game. It serves
Yes, it
as
is.
a portal to a future-realistic realm.
Yes, it is. It is another
With
FPS
power
game.
and
Yes, it
combat
is.
challenges. And as part of
Yes,
that
it is.
ambition, we are bringing back one of the most beloved Delta Force titles as a single-player campaign mode, Black Hawk Down. We also provide a large-scale, immersive, thematic world where danger lurks in every turn. Please join us as we embark
Can I
on
interview
new
the
era of
developers?
Delta Force Hawk Ops.
What about this makes this unique and not like other FPS games?
Next up is a game that throws you and your friends into the heart of Evanor, a world overrun by chaos and gloom. Unlock the power of ancient wayfinders and join forces with friends to unleash their devastating strength as you push back a hostile force through your own path and playstyle. From Airship Syndicate and Warframe creator Digital Extremes, Wayfinder welcomes you into a rich, expansive world riddled with secrets where you and your friends can explore new areas.
Isn't this the game on Steam that's flopping really bad right now with mostly negative
The
reviews?
hostile gloom encroaching on the world of Evanor.
Oh yeah, this has mostly negative reviews right now. This game is doing real bad. Oh wait.
Wayfinders.
Wait, yes it is.
Do you remember the fall? The gloom descended on Skylight.
I think it is. Yeah, this is it.
You rallied to protect the
It's like a top seller on Steam right now and it has mostly negative reviews. It's really bad for them. Apparently the issues are that it's not the game itself, it's the server issues. Like people can't get into the servers to play when the game is like out now. But like you buy the game, you install it, you can't even get into the game. And like you'll disconnect during missions and stuff. Like yikes. And it actually looks really charming. Like I would actually play this, but like
Hey Gamescom, it's Joe Madureira.
Oh.
of Airship Syndicate. Wayfinder is
I take back everything I said. Joe, if you want me to play your game or collaborate
check it out. Play the game, let us know what you think. We have a lot of exciting
on
stuff.
certain
Your excitement gets us
projects.
excited, so please.
He's
let us know
hot.
what you think. Play the
Ooh.
game now if you haven't, and have a great show.
Hey everyone,
God,
this is Steve Madureira.
I just love like a silver fox or like someone with like gray hair and facial hair. It gets me every time. I'm like, ooh.
New side quests, one of which unlocks a brand new hunt, our largest hunt yet. We have 3 new hunts coming. finally be able to face down the Reaver King. New weapons coming that you'll be able to craft, new decorations, artifacts, trophies for housing. Be sure to keep an eye out for updates, and thanks again for playing.
It's about time.
We be hawking loogies. Yummy. He's cute. You don't think? This game actually looks really nice, but it sucks that it's
Wayfinder
flopping.
is now available in early access on PlayStation consoles and Steam for PC. Purchase a Founders Pack today. And
No,
become a
don't do
Wayfinder
that.
To gain access to exclusive items and gear that will never be available again, and be among the first to play through Wayfinder's
Among Us.
first 2 seasons, each arriving with new gear, locations, and more along the way. Take a look at what Wayfinder has in store for you.
Oh, you have
Coming up
another
next,
trailer.
Terraceland, a class-based MMORPG focusing on dungeon raiding. Unlike traditional MMORPGs, the team created a relaxed and low-burden MMO world where players
Oh, this
no longer
isn't
have to
live?
worry about
Oh, I
hidden
could do this
tasks
boots.
or pay-to-win gaps, but can experience the pure joy of adventure. Across PC and mobile devices, enjoy an amazing
Get me
MMO
in the
experience
studio.
anytime, anywhere.
Hey,
Watch
Emma.
out for the upcoming closed beta starting November of this year.
The only thing was the Nunu and Willump League of Legends adventure game. Looks really cute. Thanks, Cammy. This show hasn't been terrible. Like, I never knew about the level infinite, but it's pretty bad. It's pretty not. Oh, I mean, it's pretty good. I didn't say pretty bad. Cut the cameras. Yeah, a lot of these games look this. Ooh, okay. This looks cute. Could you imagine I was sponsored by them to say something and I just stuttered and said their game was bad? Oh, and oh. Yeah, I like shit that has like colors and it's pretty, and then you can go into stuff like this, like that's like that, like that. What is this? Is this a mobile game? I feel like this is a mobile game. Anybody wondering, the show after this one at 2 o'clock has 8 world premieres. So this is like the pre-show. The main show, Future Game Show, starts at 2 o'clock. No, literally, there's so many WoW dupes. Dupe? I like the little shark babies. Shark doo 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 doo. Sorry. This is giving WildStar 2010 tease, which I'm kind of into, but I think I like games from 2010 for a different reason because it gives me nostalgia. Like, I shouldn't be like, oh my god, this game looks like 2010 in 2023. Oh, 100%. This also, anybody that just came in, the people that are putting on this show, they made Tower of Fantasy and they helped work on Warhammer. So they're a pretty good studio that I'm just finding out are big. Oh, the sexy spider lady, she wants to be me so bad. Is that spider pregnant? I think not. My Baldur's Gate character outsells. Oh. Oh, it's a mobile game. I told you! I called it.
Fat Shark with Warhammer 40K
What?
Dark
Did she
Tide
just call me a
launching
fat
on
shark?
Xbox Series X and S on October 4th, 2023, and available on Game Pass day 1. In addition, Fat Shark will launch their biggest update to Dark
She's gotta give me fears.
introducing a complete
Fat
overhaul
Shark.
of the class.
Damn. Oh my god.
Playstyle and purge heretics with
The way she hits it when she says it.
Update number 13,
She's like, Fat Shark.
Overhaul is also
I'm like,
out on
ooh.
October 4th on PC and Xbox.
Hi, Maddie. Hi, Slay Slay. Did I say hi, Cammy?
I'll check
I'm
for
saying hi
myself if you
again.
don't mind.
But do be wary. We're boarding!
Guess how much my dress was? My dress today was $5 at Rainbow. Ooh. Custom couture by Rainbow.
To be honest, I don't trust you. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, you like rainbows because you're gay. Wow, that really...
Now in its 5th year, Fat Shark's Vermintide 2 has amassed a huge audience with over 15 million players. And we've got a special treat for you today. Sienna's long-awaited 4th career comes to the game and releases on all platforms October 19th. Check out the announcement trailer.
That's really interesting. Can this ponytail stay right here? What is your issue? Keeps falling back. Back in the bag, back in the bag. Oh, she needs some concealer under those eyes, Spooky.
I know what you're thinking, Sienna. Is this real? Is it a dream? A nightmare? Or perhaps it's true?
You better stop. Not Acid Belly. Let her rest. Cammy! You are so... Hey, Fat Shark. Does Level Infinite have a Twitch account? We need to butter them up. We need to give them a sub. So they book me for this pre-recorded show next year. We're gonna make a petition. Also, I didn't realize my bot, when you gift a sub, it goes, thank you for the gifting a sub. So kind. So kind.
Hello.
Like, what is that? There's always time for kindness. Okay, this is a lot of emotion. I feel like there's so much lore here, and I'm just talking about like Drag Race references and going shopping.
I suppose it was time for a change.
The Warhammer stands are like, yes! And I'm like, oh. Oh, a necromancer. Okay, down with that. Not to be confused with necrophilia. Not down with that. Never, never. Anything cool? The League of Legends, Nunu and Willump game. Hi, Vibe. Hi, Crimson.
There could have been a bloodless Arrakis.
The main show for anybody coming in starts at 2. This is the pre-show.
Workforce.
The League of Legends Adventure Nunu and Willump game is the star of the night. So far. Star of the day? Star of the day, Vivian!
But we were not sent here to thrive. Plotters will infest this benevolent regime, and blood will be spilled. Rivals will surround this prosperous.
Don't you guys think this game looks great? Oh!
Unknown forces
Fat Shark.
will emerge from
Sorry.
this bountiful land, and there will be no respite. To live in peace is a privilege of the weak. And as our strength culminates, a new age of turmoil approaches.
Today's stream is sponsored by Fat Shark, a new VPN.
Begin the Spice Wars.
Oh, here Maddie goes. Maddie, you actually unironically need to get a PC so you can play Wizard 101. Or just a laptop. Wait, there's a giveaway at the end of the stream. There's a QR code, scan it. And if you win the giveaway, the Alienware laptop, you could play Wizard 101. No, because that's T actually. No, because we're gonna win that laptop. We're gonna win it, Boots. Someone in this chat has to win it. Come on, you guys. That'd be so fucking iconic. Home Depot? Okay. Okay, well, people are being shot and killed.
The enemy in the south.
Emma, I would go on your Home Depot run now. People are coming and shooting people. Emma, run!
They pissed all over our sacrifice.
I saw the fun. I clocked it. Oh, they're definitely getting clocked.
Even our warship, the king, who fought with us through hell or high water.
You find
shredded,
the audio mixing?
Rotting.
You find a daddy at Home Depot? All of them have like that like really bushy gray mustache and like no hair, and they're just not the T. When I go, and that's like once in a millennia. Okay, T though, actually. Okay, T. I better see my lesbians in Home Depot. Lesbians!
I'm the producer of Arena Breakout here at Mofan Studios. I started out in the industry back in 2004, working on
Home Depot's for lesbians, IKEA is for the gays.
For those who don't know, Arena Breakout is a first-person.
Where the trans girlies going? Where the trans girlies going?
It's been 3 years in the making, and our goal is to develop a next-gen FPS
Home Depot
game
for the lesbians, IKEA is for the gays, and
not to be the last one standing. Instead, shoot and loot is at the heart of this game.
What is Home Goods? Home Goods are for the trans besties.
You grab, you loot,
oh, that's it. That's the chart. That's the chart.
Points on the map. That's how you win the game.
Okay, Trader Joe's. Okay, I see that.
Arena Breakout.
What else are we missing?
That occur on the battlefield, and the organic interactions.
Oh, bisexuals go to Staples. 100%.
This is what makes Arena Breakout a unique.
The non-binary besties? Oh, they're going to Michael's. A nice craft store. Yeah, Walmart's for everybody and the boo-boo. The clown people. Clown people, I mean ugly people. Sorry.
We will release a brand new map, the port.
I actually near I guess like in my area they opened like a giant Home Goods. Like it's like a really like bougie Home Goods. I'm like, bitch, when I get this apartment we're gonna get from insurance.
Of new firearms, including assault rifles, shotgun, and a revolver.
Costco.
I know this is exciting,
you know, I have never seen a Costco. Here in the East Coast, in the like New England area, they call it BJ's. You guys like a good BJ? It's called BJ's something. It's like the equivalent of Bosco's.
Finally, I look forward to welcome all of you to the world of Arena Breakout, where a truly immersive and realistic battle experience awaits you.
Yeah, I've never been.
It's time to shoot and loot.
All of our Australian and like UK friends are like, what the fuck are all these stores? Oh, Stan. Onyx is in the other room, actually. Hi, Alan.
We are the Forgotten. Haunting the depths of hell. We are the survivors.
Oh, thanks for the glizzy.
Scattered
ravaging.
It's like a Costco or a BJ's is like a giant department store where you can buy things in bulk. So like you can buy, so like at a regular store you can buy monsters in like 4-packs, or like you can buy the sodas in like a 12-pack. But at a Costco's or a BJ's you can buy like a 24, like 36-pack. Like you could buy the shit in bulk for really cheap.
The food.
Like everything's on like crates, like everything's like, if you were to go into the back rooms of like grocery stores, it's like that but open floor. You know, I've loved Monster my entire life, but I've never tried an Arizona iced tea. I feel like I should try it. I've never had an Arizona iced tea.
All we have is each other. In hell.
Oh, we'll definitely try one.
Together.
Ooh.
Die together.
Deep breath. That cough took me out. Oh my god, that game is still running? I got that game gifted to me in like 2018. Like, what is this? Oh, like the full release is coming out? Girl, please. It's been like 8 years. Oh, I'm down with this already. I like the colors. I like the mohawk. I like the sexy people on the motorcycles. Let me ask you this. If a really hot guy, like you were trying to get it, and he said, let's go take a ride on my motorcycle to my place, would you? Would you risk your life to get that dick?
Level Infinite and Electronic Arts announced Command & Conquer Legions yesterday. The game is scheduled to release
well, no.
later this year. Command & Conquer Legions is a new mobile strategy game based on the iconic Command & Conquer franchise, opening up endless possibilities for deep strategy and social connection. Please enjoy the new trailer, giving you more in-depth details on.
I know, I would weigh the bike down.
And beloved characters from the Command &
I would literally, it would like not be able to start because I would make it like indent into the ground. Oh my goodness, okay. If he looked like that guy on those motorcycles right there, in that Jeep too, any of those characters, I'd be with it. Well, how long is the ride? What's the ETA? What's the ETA? How long are we gonna be on the motorcycle? What's your ETA? Hi, Liz. How long? Do you think? Wait, hold on. You know those guys that like rev their engines that are really loud and like they try to compensate like because they think they're hot shit? I was gonna posit a question, but now it's just a statement. I know those guys don't last long in bed. You could literally caress the tip of their penis and they would immediately splooge everywhere. Everywhere, done. It's a wrap. Who's Harley and who's Davidson?
Okay, that was a lot of exciting news. Now to wrap it up, please welcome with me on stage, Michelle Liu, CEO of Level Infinite.
Wait, wrap up.
Thank you all for joining us.
Oh,
for
she's
the
done.
Into the Infinite Showcase. My name is Michelle Liu, and I'm the CEO of Level Infinite. I'm very proud that we are back here at Gamescom, and we're able for the first time ever to host this show.
She's wearing lip gloss. She has blush on. Oh, girl, she's in full beats.
To this great show today, we had an
She's
amazing
stunning.
ride. We released fantastic games such as PUBG Mobile, Tower of Fantasy, and Nikkei, Goddess of Victory. And are
Oh,
looking
fantastic
forward
is a
to
very
all the
generous word for
exciting
those
titles
games.
ahead of us, coming from our studios all over the world. Thanks to Anthony and Glitter for hosting this amazing show. And thanks to all our global partners and studios for the great and entertaining games we showed today. Make sure to join over 10 million other players.
Wait, where's the
and
giveaway?
sign up for the Level
Hold
Infinite
on.
Pass today.
I have my camera ready.
Updates and new titles from our amazing Level Infinite.
Everybody
family.
pull your phones out. We're entering the giveaway. We're gonna win the laptop.
And thanks to
Someone
all
in
of you
chat.
watching the stream. Don't forget to scan the QR code to join our Alienware giveaway. It will be valid for the next 24 hours. That's it for the very first Into the Infinite showcase. If you were in Cologne, drop by the Level Infinite booth to say hi and make sure to follow all
Someone
of our
needs
channels
to win
stay
that.
up to date on all the amazing news.
Thanks so much. Okay, so we have another show, and I'm also gonna do an outfit change. So there's that. Yes, I'm gonna do an outfit change because I bought multiple outfits for this, but I think this is gonna be the last show we do. So I'm gonna mute my mic, and I will be back in a new outfit in 5 minutes.